I'm Catherine Ross. I'm here live from the NYC with Jim Cramer. Jim, it's Veterans Day, so I want to wish all veterans a happy Veterans Day, and thank you so much for your service. So let's take a step back from the markets, and what's on the top of your mind this Veterans Day?
Well, it is veterans because I think the narrative has changed. I know General Mattis, and I've got his book, said some things which saying, listen, a lot of people feel the veterans are damaged goods, but don't worry about it. Here's what and retraining, and General Mattis is a brilliant man, but I also started getting a different view, which is that if you hire them, you'll do better. One of the things that Kevin Johnson said was the stores that are military stores do average to better. He did not say they're all better. That's, that would be something that is hard because there's some great stores that Starbucks has. But Jamie Dimon, hire the vets. They do well. I know that it was very funny being at the Air Force Academy. There isn't anyone there who doesn't have a job after they graduate and serve, which is that they're the best pilots. And they pride themselves on that. No talk of Boeing. But there is I think the hire the vet move is something that has gone from handout to how can you not? And I think that's a great change. In the same way, it's like, my father comes back from the war. It's like, why would you hire him? It's that kind of thing. After he had seen a lot of death, and just because he saw a lot of death doesn't mean he shouldn't be hired. But we're starting to get back to the way it was after World War II, which is these are valued people.
I completely agree with you, Jim. Jim, this morning you wrote in Real Money about China and Caterpillar in particular. You noted that we're seeing companies protect themselves from
I think that there was a big setback in trade last week. I think that the pro-trade wing is trying to get a lot of business done. The anti-trade wing is trying to change China. The people who are pro-business in China got ahead of the president, I think. That's not where the president is, and I think that there are a lot of people in the White House who feel that weakens the White House's hand, so maybe they have to get even tougher. And the White House is very upset with the Chinese, so the Chinese may feel that things are getting better, and they started leaking this. The mainstream media totally believes everything China says and really hates Trump. Hate him or like him, there's no movement in these trade talks. And if anything, they move back when the more pro-trade group said we're close to a deal. We're not. We're not close to a deal. And if we are close to a deal, it's going to be just phase one and nothing else. To me, it's just the next December hikes are right on the table. So don't get too confident.
We saw a tweet go viral this weekend after claiming that Apple and Goldman Sachs have...
I researched this thing. I mean, one of the things that Apple wanted was for everybody, in Goldman too, to have their own credit rating. Now, there was a credit rating disparity here that was a mistake, and maybe there's lots of mistakes. I don't know, because they did have to readjust this one. But it's a blind algo. I want a blind algo. I don't want African Americans to be discriminated against, Hispanics, women. The idea was that no one should be discriminated against. Also, one of the things that I think should realize, like when my wife got divorced, she needed her own credit rating. If she had been had her own credit rating, then I think that she would have been better off. So this is a convoluted story, is what I'm going to say. Now, but one thing is certain is that if anyone really thought that they had discriminated against women, they would never have done this. That's just. I mean, this is not one of these like Salesforce where Mark Benioff realized that there were people who were of the same rank who were being paid less. This is much more of a, okay, look, we did this algorithm because we thought it was the right thing to do, and I don't understand how it's wrong to have an algorithm that's blind to race or color. I don't know.
But ultimately, we see Apple as a forward-thinking company. Is this going to impact them in the longer term?
No, I don't think so. I do think that, look, if there's credit rating adjustments that have to be made, they'll be made. But, and the lines of credit it's like weird to try to figure out how they do the lines of credit. I think it's going well for Goldman, and I think it's going well for Apple, and it's not because they discriminate. Why would they discriminate? They certainly have no... If they're really discriminating, they're horrified. Okay, they don't think they are, but they change it. And they certainly don't mean to discriminate. It's not like they're redlining. I mean, it's not like what they were talking about at the Jamie Dimon, where Detroit wouldn't get money because the areas were bad. It's just not like that. So I really duck this one in the sense that I just can't buy it. I can't buy it.
Jim, tomorrow we've got an exciting show over on Bull Market Fantasy around 10:45 a.m. Are you ready?
No, because tonight's game is so big. This is the game that is obviously the Dalvin Cook explosion. You have Dalvin against Minnesota, but just in terms of like the drama of a game, I think that tonight you've got the hottest quarterback in the league, Russell Wilson. I'm up against this guy. Well, I'm not. There's a guy in my league who has Lockett and Wilson, which is extraordinary. But against these are the two great teams in the Western Division. Is very, very important. The Rams I can't believe the Rams collapsed. So, no, I can't say I'm ready until I see what happens tonight. Because we're too current when we do our, we can't make money for people unless we have everything buttoned down.
Well, okay, we've also got something else exciting happening this week. It's our Action Alerts Plus members only call on Wednesday at 11:30.
Yeah, we had a meeting this morning just to prepare for it, and it's going to be hard for me because I have a very mixed message. I want to talk about how to take stock off because the market's been so up, and how we take stock off because we have a lot of situations where we're very up, and each one I look at individually.
All right, guys, we are now going to be heading over to our Action Alerts Plus Daily Rundown show where Jim's going to be breaking down his thoughts on Disney and Activision Blizzard's quarters. I'm very excited to hear this. All right, Jim, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.
Guys, tune in to our Daily Rundown show over on ActionAlertsPlus.com. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.